Physical defense bypass or critical damage. Which build is better? Before we jump into the video, show some love to the channel with a like and subscribe. Your support helps us create more content and helps other players find helpful guides. Please note that it is absolutely fine to put physical defense bypass stat in your build. As a hybrid hunter, I also have an extra stat allocated for defense bypass. The point of this video is to know whether it is practical for a free-to-play player to focus our build on defense bypass. To know the truth, we will have a damage test, and we will compare the damage output of physical defense bypass versus critical damage. First, let's go to the stats. For each stat test, we'll set one stat to approximately 1100 to 1200, while keeping the other stat close to the starting point of 662. This will help us isolate the impact of each stat on damage output, including its effect on critical damage. Let's analyze the damage output of these builds. Our tests show that defense bypass increases both normal and critical damage, while critical damage stat primarily boosts critical damage, while critical damage might have a slight edge in overall damage output. Remember that these results are based on specific scenarios, which is what we did in our test. Many factors influence damage calculations, so experiment to find the best build for your playstyle. While defense bypass can increase normal and critical damage, here are the things you need to consider. Number 1. You need high level of enchant in your weapon in order for this to work. You may need to equip most of your weapon card slots with pierce cards and set your enchantments to at least level 10 strength or attack stat in your weapon. This way, you will still have decent damage even if you don't have cards that increases your raw attack. Number 2. You need to set all the enchants in your talisman and accessories to defense bypass. You need to get every possible sources of defense bypass since it is only few. These are cards for talisman, accessories, and weapon. You can also get it from enchantment on your accessories and talisman, and rare gears, which is very expensive. Number 3. The effect of refinement on defense bypass accessories is halved compared to other accessories. For example, 11% of crit damage accessory will be 5.5% when you inherit it to a defense bypass accessory. Another thing you need to consider is that critical rate and critical damage builds are easier to achieve, as many gears provide these stats. Additionally, new sniper skills like Falcon Eyes boost physical attack and critical damage, making these builds even more accessible. Need more free-to-play guides? Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our future episodes. Let's put our builds to the test in Trial Challenge. We'll see which one performs better and try to improve our ranks.
Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight!
Congratulations, it passed the SS rank. But you have to consider that when I finished this with crit damage build. Number 1. I don't have yet my poison enchant, and number 2. With the same stat value and buffs coming from poison enchant, I can finish my trial challenge under 38 seconds with critical damage build. But I can see its potential in other aspects of the game like PvP. But with 3000 to 4000 defense bypass stat, my crit damage build has much higher damage output, so it means you need a lot of defense bypass for this to work. What we have learned in this video? We learned that both defense bypass and critical damage builds have their strengths. Defense bypass boosts both normal and critical damage, while critical damage offers higher critical hits, but requires high critical rate. Ultimately, the best build depends on individual playstyles and resource availability. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Let's continue our Ragnarok rebirth journey and explore more ways to boost our damage in the next episode.